Did you know? Some mornings you wake up, but someone else doesn't. Perhaps the neighbor next door, the one who still took his walk each afternoon, or your high school best friend who just called last week, their voice still echoing with laughter in your memory. This morning, a 71-year-old man passed away, quietly, in his sleep. There was no warning, not one clear sign. And what pained his loved ones most was that he himself had ignored those things that seemed so minor. You see, once you pass 70, your body no longer shouts as loudly as it used to. It only whispers with a strange fatigue, a morning with no appetite, or sleep that isn't deep. And if you don't listen carefully, those small things could well be the final warning. So are you certain you're not currently overlooking something truly important? A habit that seems harmless, yet is quietly, steadily shortening the time you have left. This video isn't meant to scare you, but it's here to share 4 things that seem harmless, yet geriatric doctors call them fatal spots for health in your 70s. And you can avoid them simply by starting today. No big changes are needed. Just adjust a few small things, but right where they're needed. If you are currently this age, or have parents or relatives living in their 7th decade of life, then these are things you absolutely cannot afford to ignore, because life itself is sometimes truly saved just by one action you take or don't take each morning. If this sounds like something worth hearing more about, then please settle in. All right, let's begin. The first thing is, do not oversleep, because you might never wake up again. Just one seemingly harmless habit, oversleeping, can actually steal your alertness and even your life before you know it. After age 70, many people think they deserve to rest, to sleep a little longer each morning. But they don't know their bodies are no longer the same. When your biological clock is disrupted, it not only makes you tired, but also throws your circulatory system, blood pressure, and even your brain out of whack. Many studies in the United States show that older adults who frequently sleep and face a higher risk of morning hypotension, which significantly increases the risk of falls, the leading cause of hip fractures and premature death in the 70 and older age group. That extra sleep, seemingly a treat for yourself, inadvertently becomes the thief of alertness, of mental clarity, and sometimes even the very last chance to live another healthy day. I remember Mr. Thomas, 74 years old, in Boston. He was cheerful, lived alone, and enjoyed sleeping late, reasoning, "Now I don't need to go to work anymore." One early winter morning, he awoke too late, got out of bed feeling dazed, and slipped right there on the cold tile floor. A stroke, a hospital stay, and then he never returned to his small, familiar room. Conversely, Mrs. Margaret, 76, still kept to her routine of waking at 6 a.m., stretching to greet the early sun, doing some light exercises, then enjoying her breakfast. She said, "When I wake up early, I know I'm still in charge of my day." Her health remained stable, her mind was clear, never once a fall or needing an emergency hospital visit. You see, the consequences of oversleeping aren't just lost time, but also loss of balance, loss of blood pressure control, loss of alertness, and losing the ability to protect yourself. Many people don't realize that keeping irregular sleep hours after 70 can contribute to heart rhythm disorders, increase the risk of memory decline, and even silent depression. The good news is you don't need to do anything complicated. Simply set your alarm 30 minutes earlier. Step out on the balcony, breathe in the fresh air, feel the sunlight. Your body will thank you for it, with a more regular heartbeat, a clearer mind, and a safer new day ahead. If tomorrow morning you wake up late, remember this: it's not about waking early for big achievements, but about being alert enough not to fall when you get out of bed. Each dawn is a gift. Don't sleep through it and lose it. The second thing, do not live in darkness, because light is the body's survival signal. At this age, it's not supplements, but morning light itself that's the first medicine helping you live another healthy day. Many elderly people like staying indoors all day, drawing the curtains, avoiding sunlight for fear of skin damage, glare, or simply they're used to it. But few know that light, especially natural light in the morning, isn't just something to see with. It's a vital signal for your body to know it's still alive, for the biological clock to run correctly, for the brain to release hormones helping you stay alert, cheerful, and healthier. Researchers at Harvard University found that a lack of natural light, particularly after age 70, is directly linked to mild depression, sleep disorders, and a weakened immune system. Not enough morning sunlight also reduces vitamin D absorption, a key factor in keeping bones strong and reducing fall risks. Let me tell you two brief stories. Mr. Walter, 78, living in San Francisco, had a habit of watching TV in a dark room from morning till afternoon. Recently, he started having trouble sleeping, lost his appetite, and didn't want to talk with anyone. His family thought it was just old age, but when his doctor asked him to get 20 minutes of sunlight each morning, the results were surprising. His mood gradually improved. He slept better at night, and he started eating a little again. Conversely, Mrs. Helen, 75, in Arizona, spent 15 minutes each morning walking around her garden, taking in the early sun. She'd say, "Early sunlight is like a gentle reminder that I'm still here, and I still have a new day to live." She rarely got sick, her spirits were high, and she was always proactive in her activities. Living in darkness isn't just about closing the curtains, it's also closing the door to vital signals your body desperately needs. If natural light is lacking, your body might think it's in the wrong time zone, leading to fatigue, confusion, and uncontrolled energy all day long. You don't need to go out walking right today, but at least pull up the blinds, open the window, let the light flood in, sit near a window while eating breakfast, read a book in the early sun. Let your body recognize a new day is starting, and you still have the chance to live it fully. Don't let old day pass by in silence and darkness. Let the light tell you you are still here and you are still alive. The third thing is, don't skip breakfast, because it could be the last meal you ever have a chance to eat. If this morning you haven't eaten anything, perhaps you've just missed the simplest chance to save yourself. After age 70, the feeling of morning hunger often isn't so clear. Many just drink some tea, coffee, or skip it entirely because they feel food isn't appealing. But that's precisely when the body is speaking out, silently and quite seriously, that its metabolism is slowing, energy reserves are dwindling, and if not refueled, the consequences will arrive quite unexpectedly. Geriatric doctors at Johns Hopkins University have pointed out skipping breakfast in older adults reduces their ability to regulate morning blood pressure, increasing the risk of dizziness, falls, temporary confusion, and even sudden loss of consciousness. More importantly, not eating breakfast forces the body to draw energy from muscles, and muscle loss after 70 is a leading factor in shortening lifespan. I remember Mrs. Ruth, 79 years old, who lived alone in Ohio. She was once very healthy, but after a few months of skipping breakfast, because she no longer had an appetite, she lost weight for no clear reason, her limbs growing very weak. One morning she stood up too quickly to go to the bathroom and fell, hitting her head right in the hallway. She was saved, but from then on couldn't stand up by herself. Conversely, Mr. Carl, 77, always began his day with a simple breakfast, half an avocado, a slice of whole grain bread, and a glass of warm milk. Breakfast is when I tell my body, hey, we still have work to do, still have days to live. He'd smile. He still walks, tends his garden, and hasn't fallen once in the past 5 years. Skipping breakfast isn't just not eating. It's the message you unintentionally send your body, I don't need energy anymore. And the body, loyal but vulnerable, will begin to quietly shut down its functions. The solution is incredibly simple. Don't wait until you feel hungry to eat. A slice of bread, some milk, a few pieces of fruit. Just 10 minutes in the morning is enough. A small habit, but it has a big impact, especially at this age, when your body needs more support than you might think. So next time you think, maybe I'll eat later, remember, breakfast not only helps you live healthy today, but it also keeps you safe for the tomorrows you have left. And finally, do not endure stress alone. because stress can kill you more silently than even heart disease. You don't see it, you can't touch it, but stress can make your heart weary, in the truest sense. At 70, quite a few people think, I'm old now, I must endure everything for peace. But that very silence, that quiet endurance, is the smoldering fuse for many dangerous diseases. When emotions are bottled up, when worries, hurts, or sadness aren't shared, the body reacts, and it reacts by weakening the very systems trying to keep you alive each day. Research from the National Institute on Aging in the United States shows chronic stress in older adults increases the risk of stroke, memory decline, prolonged insomnia, and immune disorders. Unlike heart disease or diabetes, stress doesn't cause pain, fever, or have obvious symptoms, but it silently sabotages from within, making your heart beat faster, your blood pressure rise, your sleep shorten, and your breath become shallower, little by little. Mr. Henry, 76 years old, after his wife passed, lived alone and rarely spoke to anyone. If asked, he'd just shake his head, I'm fine. But every week he visited the clinic for headaches, sleeplessness, and loss of appetite. Only when a nurse sat down, quietly listening as he spoke of lonely days, did he finally break down in tears. From then on, he joined a community group, started meditating each morning, and a miracle happened. He got healthier, went to the doctor less, ate well, and smiled more. Then there was Mrs. Clara, 75, who always wore a smile, but only those close knew. She often woke in the middle of the night, clutching her chest, short of breath, worrying about her grandchildren, bills, her age. She told no one, thinking, if I tell, who can help? One morning she fainted from a mild stroke. The doctor said, if she had shared sooner, just a little, perhaps this wouldn't have happened. Stress doesn't need you to cry or rage. It just needs you to silently endure long enough, and then it will erupt as an unannounced pain. The good news is you don't have to fight it alone. Just make a phone call, write a few lines in a journal, talk to loved ones, take a walk in the sun, or simply breathe deeply, slowly, evenly for a few minutes each morning. You are not weak for feeling tired. You are only human, and humans need each other to live. So today, ask yourself, how many heavy things am I carrying in my heart that no one knows about? And if there are any, find someone to share them with, because sometimes what saves you isn't medicine, but a conversation at exactly the right time. Perhaps, after hearing all of that, you're wondering, am I perhaps unintentionally harming myself each morning? Age 70 isn't the end point, but it is a reminder that time is no longer as plentiful as it once was. Each day that passes is an opportunity. It could also be a warning. Don't let small habits steal away the years you should still be able to live healthily and joyfully. You don't need to do anything grand. Just choose to wake up on time. Let the sunlight touch your skin. Eat a nutritious breakfast, even if it's just a few light bites. And open your heart. Share what's weighing heavily on it, instead of enduring it all alone. We don't live longer because of grand gestures, but by the very way we love ourselves each day. If you still have parents, perhaps let them watch this video. If you yourself are the one going through your 70s, please allow yourself to live more gently. We cannot change the past, but we can do something better for tomorrow morning. Thank you for staying until the very end. If this video made you feel something should change, please consider sharing it with someone you believe needs to hear it too. And if you're up for it, let me know in the comments. What's one small habit you'll try starting tomorrow? I read every single one. Now then, live a bit slower, my friend. Good things are still waiting up ahead, if we're just alert enough to see them.